Hi, my name is Caitlin Akon. I played Enid on The Walking Dead, and you are watching Comiverse.
Little Hen says it's time to rock and roll.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
All right.
Get on with the ceremony.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special Monday edition of Hanging Out with Grandpa Starscream. You know, going forward, this is going to be the new home for the show on Monday nights. Every Monday night, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. Hope y'all can join us. We're going to talk about some comic book stuff that I picked up from the mail. And tonight is a very special night. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I just hadn't had the chance. But tonight is our special tribute to the iconic Chuck Norris. For a lot of us, he was an inspiration. He was a childhood hero of mine. You know, growing up watching his films and everything. He passed away on March 19th, 2026 at the age of 86 in Hawaii. And I'm going to talk about some of his competitive years when he was competitive in karate, and his films, his memes, all that good stuff. Hopefully we'll have some people join us here in a little bit. I meant to pin the link in the comments, but I did not. So I may try to do that as well sometime later. So let's go to the chat real quick. We got Heroes for Hire Comic Club saying, Matt saying, rest in peace, Chuck Norris. And then, okay, that's Cicada. We got my buddy Tim. How you doing? We got, I will be there in 20 minutes from Vogs. And it's my friend Jennifer. It's Tim's girlfriend, fiance. Yeah, you may be in for some Chuck Norris jokes. I've got a few of the facts set up. I'm going to take a minute and talk about the man himself. I'm going to talk about a little bit about his early upbringings and stuff. But you know what? I only got a couple clips, so let's start this off with one of my favorite clips from Walker, Texas Ranger, because I just freaking love this clip.
Got no right?
No!
I think that's a pretty good right.
Yeah, we all know Chuck from his movies and stuff, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about his early career, his early life, and see how we do here. As you can tell, y'all, I'm never really good at flying solo. Yeah, Steve, you're right. How you doing, Steve? Says when Chuck Norris does push-ups, he doesn't push himself up; he pushes the earth down. Yeah, I mean, chat, join in on the fun. Post your favorite Chuck Norris facts in there, because it's so funny that he mentioned that one, because I actually have. Where is that? Oh, there you go. Oh, Chuck Norris does a push-up. He doesn't push himself up; he pushes the earth down. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so let me read y'all this. I guess you call this a eulogy or whatever. Carlos Ray Chuck Norris was born on March 10th, 1940. He died on March 19th, 2026. He was an American martial artist, actor, screenplay writer, and author. He held black belts in karate, taekwondo, tang soo do, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and judo. After serving in the U.S. Air Force, he won numerous martial arts championships and later founded his own discipline, Kung Kuk Do. Norris began working in the American film industry as a martial arts instructor for celebrities before making his screen debut with a minor role in The Wrecking Crew, 1968. Friend and fellow martial artist Bruce Lee invited him to play one of the main villains in The Way of the Dragon. And you can bet your ass I will be talking about The Way of the Dragon and why I think that is one of the greatest exhibition matches of all time on cinema. When Norris continued acting, friend and student Steve McQueen suggested he take it seriously. Norris took the starring role in the film Breaker Breaker which turned a profit. His second lead, Good Guys Wear Black, became a hit, and he soon became a popular action star. Now, his early life, he was one of three sons born to Wilma Lee and Ray D. Norris. He was the oldest of the three. He had a younger brother named Wyland, who passed away in 1970. He died in Vietnam, and who actually, his brother Wyland told him, he said he wouldn't live to be 27. Unfortunately, he was right. He's got a younger brother also named Aaron, and where does it say he was born? He was born in Oklahoma, but I forgot exactly where it said he was born at. Ryan, Oklahoma. Now, some interesting things about his martial arts career. We'll get to that in a second. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Hey, man, if you want to join me, feel free. I'm all by my little lonesome. My buddy Tim says Chuck Norris did not have a time of death. Death had a time of Chuck. Yeah, it's said that he went and took Chuck Norris's job. Yeah, we are all immortal now. Chuck didn't die. He left to slay death itself. Trivia question: where did the fight between Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris take place in Way of the Dragon? Now, we're going to get to that, Tim, because that has two answers. I know where you're going at, and part of it is true, but not all of it. I'm just saying. All right, no worries. So, getting back to Chuck, telling Chuck's story. So now I wanted to play some clips, but I couldn't really find them. When I was wanting to play them, where he talked about growing up and everything. In 1958, he joined the Air Force. He wanted to actually have a career in law enforcement. He joined, I believe he was an MP for a few years, and then in 1960, I believe, said 1960. Yeah, 1958, Norris joined the United States Air Force as an air policeman and was stationed at Osan Air Force Base in South Korea. There he acquired the nickname Chuck and began training in Tang Soo Do. After returning to the U.S., he continued serving as an AP at March Air Force Base in California. In 1962, he was discharged from the Air Force with the rank of Airman First Class. While applying to become a policeman in Torrance, California, he opened a martial arts studio and began competing in tournaments. Now, this is what I think is pretty cool. Now, originally, he had aspirations to go have a career in law enforcement. He wanted to be an MP in the Air Force, and the idea was after he became an MP in the Air Force, once he got his time in the military done, he was going to go join the LAPD and then go upwards and onwards to where he would finally, make it to the FBI. And then he discovered Tang Soo Do, started training, and then he started opening up his own classes. Some of the people that he trained in his martial arts classes, some of the celebrities, was Steve and Chad McQueen, Bob Barker, Priscilla Presley, and Donnie Marie Osmond. And it was his friendship with Steve McQueen that got him into becoming an actor. Of course, I believe it was 1967, during one of the karate tournaments in 1967, was when he met Bruce Lee. And they started training for 3 years. Back and forth. Chuck would go to Bruce's house and train and everything. A lot of people don't know this, but Bruce, during the time when he was training with Chuck in the 60s, he didn't believe in the idea of striking at the head. He thought it should just be the body and never go for the head. And Chuck was the one that convinced him that no, if the head is vulnerable, you need to go for the head because then the victim will be disoriented. But yes, Jennifer, he trained Bob Barker. There's actually a clip of The Price is Right when Chuck showed up there. But anyway, he trained Chuck he trained Bruce, or he didn't train Bruce, but he finally convinced Bruce into taking headshots and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. And of course, we all know that Bruce casted him to play in The Way of the Dragon, and that was his first actual major role. one of two roles that he played a villain. I thought at one point in time I thought it was the only role that he played as a villain, but I found out that no, there was another movie. Trying to think, it had something to do with San Francisco, but he anyway he ended up playing a villain in that one as well. He played Colt in The Way of the Dragon, and I may try to play some of the clips from that as well because I just really love that fight. But anyway, and of course, for those of you who know, you know, his films and stuff, he did The Way of the Dragon, then he did Breaker Breaker. Then, of course, he did Good Guys Wear Black. And then there was Forced Vengeance and Eye for an Eye, Silent Rage, what I call now, it was Chuck Norris versus Timu Michael Myers. But Michael Myers, there wasn't Timu back then. But it was about the closest you're going to get to Chuck Norris versus Michael Myers. I thought that was pretty cool. And then you had one of my favorite movies of all time that he did was Lone Wolf McQuade. As a kid, I grew up renting this stuff from Lepanto Video all the time. Invasion USA, The Delta Force, Missing in Action. I mean, just a lot of great movies. Code of Silence was actually, not too many people know this, but this was actually originally written. Code of Silence was actually originally written to be an entry into the Dirty Harry film franchise. But Clint Eastwood passed on it, and then they changed it and made the Chuck Norris character. So I thought that was pretty cool. And of course, everybody knows in the early '90s, he did Walker Texas Ranger, and he ran that show for 9 seasons, and then they did a few movies. Now I'm going to be honest with you. I believe in being honest with you. It took me a minute to really gravitate toward Walker Texas Ranger. And it's because I grew up watching Lone Wolf McQuade. My idea of a Texas Ranger growing up was, dude with a beat up truck, looked like, he ain't shaved in weeks, looked like he ain't had a bath in even longer, his house is trashed, nothing but beer in the fridge, bachelor's life. He showed up at the awards ceremony in Lone Wolf McQuade. Everybody else was all nice and clean, and he showed up like he ain't had a bath in 3 weeks. That was my idea of a Texas Ranger, going out there and just kicking ass and doing what he has to do. So to see the squeaky clean Walker, even though Walker did get a little dirty, like I showed in that clip, it took me a little while to finally get used to it. And then what really won me over on Walker was it was more of a family oriented. He tried to, help as many people as he could. You see him deal with a lot of social issues, him and Trevette and everything. And I also tackled a few issues like racism and stuff that didn't normally get tackled back then, which was pretty interesting. And I love the little tie that he was part I believe it was part Cherokee Indian, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's part Indian, so I always loved the callbacks to that and his Uncle Ray. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see here. Tough guys take baths. Do you have a favorite Norris film? Now, I'm going to get to that because I'm going to list later on, I'm going to list my favorite top 5 Chuck Norris films. Then I'm going to list my favorite fights involving Chuck Norris. But, we'll get to that. Let me know, guys. We'll go through real quick, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite Chuck Norris memes that I actually say pictures of. Of course, I showed you the one. We got this one. It says, when Chuck Norris built the hospital. Chuck Norris built the hospital he was born in. Yes, he did. Chuck Norris can rub 2 pieces of fire together and make wood. Chuck Norris once fought Batman for a bet. The loser gets night shift. Chuck Norris can kill 2 stones with 1 bird. And one of my favorites, Freddy Krueger has nightmares about Chuck Norris. Now, I actually made up some of my own, and I guess I should print them up and make them like official memes or whatever, just for the fun of it. But I had one that I made a joke one time, and I said that the energy from a Chuck Norris roundhouse kick could power the entire state of Texas for a year. Just stuff, crazy shit like that. I love the ones where it said, Chuck Norris's tears cure cancer. Too Bad He Never Cries, and that Chuck Norris does use stuntmen, but only for the crying scenes. Let's see here. But let's talk about the karate, the man when he competed in karate. So when he was doing tournaments and stuff in the 60s, Chuck lost his first 10 matches. And then he started adapting a lot of different things. And I believe it was trying to think of who it was that the last time he lost was to, it was in the 60s, right before he won his first karate championship. And I want to make sure I get this right. In 1968, Norris suffered the 10th and final loss of his career, losing an upset decision to Louis Delgado. On November 24th, he avenged the loss and won the professional middleweight karate championship, a title he held for 6 consecutive years. So, on April 1st, 1968, he successfully defended his All-American Karate Championship title in a round-robin tournament at the Karate Tournament of Champions of North America. He won the All-American Championship again later that year and retired from the competition undefeated. While competing, Norris met Bruce Lee, then known for the Green Hornet, and the two developed a friendship as well as a training and working relationship. In August 1969, Norris defended his world championship title at the International Karate Championship, which featured competitors from most United States and several countries. He retained the title. He won karate's Triple Crown for the most tournament victories of the year and was named Fighter of the Year by Black Belt Magazine. Around this time, he made his acting debut in the Matt Helm spy spoof, The Wrecking Crew. In 1972, Norris acted as Bruce Lee's nemesis in the widely acclaimed martial arts movie, The Way of the Dragon. It's called Return of the Dragon in the U.S. The film grossed over $5.3 million at the Hong Kong box office, beating previous records set by Lee's own films, The Big Boss and Fist of Fury, making it the highest-grossing film of 1972 in Hong Kong. The Way of the Dragon went on to gross an estimated $130 million U.S. worldwide. The film is credited with launching him towards stardom. In 1973, Norris played a role in Jonathan Kaplan's The Student Teachers. All right. In 1974, actor Steve McQueen, who was Norris's martial arts student and friend at the time, saw his potential and encouraged him to begin acting classes at MGM. That same year, he played the supporting role of the main antagonist in Lo Wei's Yellow-Faced Tiger. Norris plays a powerful drug king in San Francisco, where he dominates the criminal world, including the police department. He is eventually challenged by a young police officer who stands up to corruption. The film played theatrically in the United States in 1981 as Slaughter in San Francisco. The advertisements capitalized on Norris's fame, positioning him as the leading man despite his role as the antagonist, and presenting the film as a new release rather than an older, low-budget production. But yeah, his competition record is 183 victories, 10 losses, and 2 draws. So being a competition man, it's pretty cool. Let's see here. Tim says, yep, that was one of Chuck's favorite facts. When the boogeyman goes to bed, first he checks the closet for Chuck Norris. It's rumored that a long time ago, the dinosaurs offended Chuck Norris. Well, you know what happened to them. All right, Aaron. So yeah, let's see. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, as a kid, I grew up watching Chuck Norris. Like I said, I grew up watching Lone Wolf McQuade and Invasion USA and the Delta Force and the Delta Force 2, which I just watched that here recently and realized I didn't really care for part 2 as much as I did part 1. If I was going to say my 5 favorite Chuck Norris films, and it could fluctuate on any given day, And these are just films. These are his movies where he's the starring guy. I would say number one would probably be the Delta Force. Number two would probably be Lone Wolf McQuade. Number three would probably be Code of Silence. Number four would be the Octagon. And number five would probably be Silent Rage. I love those. Love those movies a lot. Especially, I mean, I could watch Delta Force and Lone Wolf McQuade any day of the week. Steve Watt says Chuck's movies are awesome. My favorite is Lone Wolf McQuade. Yeah, I love that match, that fight that he has with David Carradine at the end of it. David is just so smug throughout that whole movie. You just know, you see, you just know that he's going to kick David Carradine's ass. But here's a fun fact about Lone Wolf McQuade that many people might not know. In the movie, David Carradine had it in his contract that he could not be killed or defeated in hand-to-hand combat. That's why you see him run in the building at the end of the film, and Chuck throws a grenade at the building, because he had this contract that he was not to lose in hand-to-hand combat. And then we'll get to favorite fights, because when you break down your favorite fights, and a lot of them are about the same. I love the fight between, I don't even know what you call the guy, the killer in Silent Rage. I don't even know what you call him. I don't even remember his name. But I'd say the fight with him at the well would probably be number 5 if I was ranking. Number 4, I would probably put the fight between him and Chuck and the bad guy in the Delta Force. I always liked that. That was pretty cool. Number 3, I can't think of the other guy's name, but the main mob boss in Code of Silence would be number 3. Number 2 would be David Carradine versus Chuck Norris. And of course, the number 1 fight, to me, the best fight Chuck Norris ever had, is this one. Now, I would play the fight, but I believe that not only is the fight between him and Bruce Lee the greatest fight of all cinema, I think it's probably one of the greatest exhibitions of martial arts ever put on cinematic camera. You had two professionals going at it in long form, and they tried to film and make it as one take as possible from beginning to end. You see, Bruce and Chuck warming up. They're giving each other a chance to do their warm-ups, which is pretty cool. And then the cat, man. You know what? We're going to do something right now for y'all, just because we can. I am going to play the greatest Chuck Norris fight scene ever between Bruce Lee. Now, I will say this right now. There is a good chance if you're watching this on the replay and you hear me talking right now about playing the Bruce Lee Chuck Norris match, if for some reason I just keep talking and it skips it, then that means I probably got a copyright and I had to take it down. But I just want everybody that's watching right now that has never seen the match between Bruce and Chuck Norris from The Way of the Dragon to actually get to see it. So we're going to go with that. Let me get it loaded up real quick. See what we can do. Because I think y'all should watch one of the greatest matches of all time. And I really wish the guys were here, because we may play this later on, but I want to do some commentary while we're doing this. And I am gonna, while we're doing this, while we're filming it, I will make a few comments, because I've made a comment to Tim earlier. This fight was filmed in the Colosseum in Rome. That was one of the places. Now, it was filmed illegally in the Coliseum in Rome because they didn't allow people to film at the Coliseum. So they had to bribe some officials. They went in and filmed as much as they could, and then they filmed the rest of it on a back lot in Hong Kong. Now, what parts were filmed in Hong Kong, what parts were filmed at the actual Coliseum, I'm not sure. He said, we've watched this movie backstage already. That's cool, brother. But all right, y'all. So for y'all, I present to you, and if it skips, it won't be there anymore. But I present to y'all the fight from the greatest martial arts exhibition ever: Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris from The Way of the Dragon. All right, it says I got YouTube blackouted, so I don't know if anybody saw that or not. If I may be taking it out, but anyway, I just wanted everybody to see the fight, so we'll see. What's going on, Vox?
What up?
I think I may have just got blackouted by YouTube. So,
What did you do?
I was playing the fight scene between Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee.
Whatever.
Can y'all see me
It
now?
happens.
Is everything going fine? It says I'm live. So,
You're still alive. Have you heard from Matt or Jeff or anybody?
No, I haven't heard from anybody.
I bet we'll get some people
May just be me
later.
and you.
Huh. Did I miss any showings, pickups?
No, I just been talking about Chuck Norris.
Oh, I'm guessing we'll just do that later.
Yeah, we'll do that later.
Cool.
If I didn't get kicked off.
No, you didn't get kicked off.
But
Yeah,
y'all,
you may want to check.
I didn't. Well, I mean, according to this, I'm still going. So
Yep, you are still going. Cool. What's up?
it's so cool. So for y'all, since I didn't get to play the rest of it, basically, Chuck gets killed, and
Yep.
what was really cool was at the end of the fight, because you can see Bruce when he breaks Chuck's legs broken, his arms broken. He's doing his best to stand up and fight, and then Bruce just shakes his head no, and he lunges at Chuck and he puts him in the guillotine chokehold and breaks his neck, and he lays him down and he walks over and grabs his gi and his belt and lays it over him in a matter of respect and bows and then walks off, which was pretty cool. And like I said, I thought that was one of the greatest ones. Now,
Yeah,
Will,
like
what?
Go.
I was gonna say, what is your favorite Chuck Norris movies? Because I've already went through my list of my favorite Chuck movies and fights and all that stuff.
I didn't really watch a lot of Chuck movies growing up.
Uh-oh.
So I'd have to say Way of the Dragon. Let me see
All
what
right,
else.
So how many? I was gonna say, how many of his actual movies did you watch?
Let me look. Probably none. Let me look at his resume. Because I watched a lot of movies, but probably not everything. Of course, I love him in Dodgeball,
Oh yeah.
where he puts the thumb down, and then Benzo's like, "Fuck you, Chuck Norris. Fuck you."
Did you know? Did you know he got paid $100,000 for that cameo?
Really? That's insane.
Yeah, I was looking. There's a thing on YouTube where you can actually see how much he made off of each movie. And believe it or not,
Go ahead.
go ahead. I was gonna say, believe it or not, his last movie has not been released yet. He had filmed another movie called Zombie Plane. That's what it's called. It's supposed to come out next year.
I also liked him in The Expendables.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he even dropped the Chuck Norris fact in that about about getting bit by the cobra, and after 5 days of agonizing pain, the cobra finally died.
Yep.
And that's another thing. I shared some of my favorite we shared some of our favorite Chuck Norris facts or memes. That's the funny thing about that. That originally started with Vin Diesel. Some guys were doing Vin Diesel things, and then it moved on to Chuck. But Chuck, I guess, showing the kind of guy that he is, he embraced it. He rolled with it. And so in a way that kind of introduced him to a new audience. I mean, the man has been making movies and stuff, selling total gems and stuff like that for
Yeah, you know, I
5
was about to
decades.
say, goddamn Tony, I remember when Total Gym was a thing. Him and his wife. His
Check it
wife
out.
was. I know it
Check it
sounds
out.
weird. His wife was smoking.
You can't. It's over in the corner, but I have a total gem, and it's because of him and Shawn Michaels.
What's his wife's name? She was gorgeous.
I don't remember his wife's name because when he did the Total Gym commercials, he did them with Christy Brinkley, and he wasn't married to Christy Brinkley. But I was actually gonna when I was talking about Chuck, I was actually gonna mention all the rankings that he had in martial arts.
Oh, Gina
And,
O'Kelly.
was that his first wife? Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. His first wife was Diane Holacek, who they divorced in '89, and he was married to Gina O'Kelly. He has 5
Brinkley
children.
did Total Gym? I don't remember that.
Yeah, her and Chuck did Total Gym commercials all the time.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I like that. I like my friend Jennifer said it's Mrs. Norris to you guys. She's absolutely right.
Christy Brinkley is still gorgeous to this day.
Tim said, well, at least you pretty much got the whole fight in before you two flagged it.
Dude, have you ever seen?
Yeah. So if you're watching this on the rewind and you don't get to see the fight, it was that.
Dude, Christy Brinkley's daughters kind of look like her, and it's pretty cute. Like, Christy Brinkley still looks pretty dang good for her age.
Yeah. Now I'm going to try to find his.
Hey,
career,
Jeff backstage.
All right, hold on. Okay, Jeff, forgive me, but I think this is a perfect way to play this video. So I'm going to introduce you like this. So welcome, Jeff, y'all.
If you come back in here, I'm going to hit you with so many rights, you're going to beg for a left.
What's up, man? Hey, you missed my first you missed my first black lighting or whatever. My first what do you call it? Blackout.
I did
because I dared to play the entire fight scene for Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris.
Dude, we were talking about because I just got here. We were talking about how cool and honorable Bruce Lee was in that fight where Chuck was struggling to stand up, and he's like, and Chuck's like, "I'm gonna fight," and he's like, you don't want to do this."
I said, and I mean, I don't know what y'all personally think about it, but before y'all came on, I consider it not only to be one of the greatest martial arts fights of all time, but I consider it to be one of the greatest martial arts exhibitions by two very established martial artists. I consider it an exhibition.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Are you
in martial arts?
You're talking about the movie or
the way of?
I'm talking about the Way of the Dragon, the final
Way
fight.
of the Dragon. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that was always like, especially guys talking about it, years later, because we were kids when we watched it. Who would win between a fight? Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee. Who would win? And it's like there's so many questions that go behind that, and it's like, well, what are you talking about? Does Bruce get to use nunchucks? Because if he does, then Chuck's fucked.
Yeah.
Or is it just bare knuckle street? Because that one is a different fight. Or are they in a ring with some kind of? There's a bunch of questions that follow that up.
I really wanted to like when y'all did the Way of the Dragon, when Matt did that show. God, if there was ever a time for me to want to be on a show, and I told Matt,
man.
I'm watching the replay, right? And I'm forgetting that I'm watching the replay and trying to leave a comment. So I mean, it's funny. I mean, but
Tony, I didn't watch it yet, but ESPN has a film called Be Like Water.
Okay, I've heard of it, but I hadn't seen. Okay, so guys, this is Chuck Norris's belts and ranks. Now, the first one It says it says 10th degree black belt Chun Kuk Do. I don't know if I think somebody gave that to him. He didn't give it to himself. That was his own martial arts that he founded. But he was a 3rd degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under the Machado family back in the 60s and
That
70s. The Machado
is no joke.
No, but back in the 60s and 70s, the Machado family were supposed to be like the family to train under for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. 5th degree black belt in karate, 8th degree black belt in Kyokushin Budokai, 8th degree black belt in Taekwondo, first Westerner to achieve this. 9th degree black belt in Tang Soo Do.
Yeah.
So,
So,
I mean,
like that's the thing that I was going to argue. And it's not about which star you love more or less or whatever.
no.
And yes, Bruce Lee is as fast as lightning. But
Yeah.
when you talk about the real combat sport world, Chuck Norris is
Yeah.
much larger than Bruce Lee. And I get it. Bruce is very fast. Very fast.
Yeah.
Super fast. Faster than Chuck, we'll say. But if you put them in a ring under like UFC rules, Chuck wins every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, now I'm going to take a minute before I tell you what I think. Jennifer, I'm going to tell you with all honesty, if I could say something to bring Chuck Norris back, I will take an ass kicking for the world if it will resurrect Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
you heard it
love
here.
Chuck, man. Love you.
I love you, Chuck. But I mentioned, okay, so I wasn't on Chris to show us what you got, and they started talking about it a little bit. And in the comments, I put in there that I think that Chuck would take Bruce because Bruce wasn't a competitive fighter like Chuck was.
Right.
But
right.
after I left that comment, the show went off. I said, hold on. Like you just said, it depends on the environment.
Yes.
If it's a karate competition with points and all that stuff, then I give it to Chuck. But if they're out there street brawling, like you said, Bruce's speed has to account for something. I mean, the dude was so fast they had to tell him to slow down.
Yeah, if it's happening in a 7-Eleven parking lot and there's no ring, no nothing, Bruce's size, which is he's smaller than Chuck, his speed and agility definitely comes into play because he can do a lot of dancing around. And Chuck Norris is obviously a phenomenal athlete himself, but things change, and I think Bruce's chances start to skyrocket. But if you put him in a ring and you put gloves on him and all that, then yeah, Bruce does. It's not fair because of the weight advantage, weight and size. But that is in no way any disrespect to Bruce or a slight towards Bruce Lee at all.
I agree.
Because he's an amazing martial artist. Did Bruce Lee ever speak to that or admit to anything like that in any interviews about, saying, hey, Chuck Norris has actually been in competitive combat sports, whereas to my knowledge, I don't think Bruce Lee did much competition, if any.
I don't think he did.
Jeff, I didn't hear a word you just said because on my end the internet's acted all squirrely.
Oh, I just asked. I wonder. The only reason I give Chuck the edge in a sanctioned fight with rules and a ring and all that stuff is because of the weight and size advantage. But I take nothing away from Bruce Lee at all. That's just a size advantage. Skill wise, Bruce is right there. But I think Chuck has competed in combat sports, whereas to my knowledge, Bruce did not. As far as I know.
True. Yeah, and as far as now, I will give Bruce this as far as street fighting goes. He did get in trouble in Hong Kong a lot because of his street fighting. So I mean,
yeah, on the street, everything changes. Everything changes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to have a little bit of internet issues. When I keep looking at it, it says it's fine, but
So did they like just shut down? They shut down your stream?
No, stream's still going.
No, it's still going. Stream's still going. But I did a thing before I played the video. I said if I announced the video and I said, okay, now if it just goes to me talking, then that where I just keep talking, then that just means I had to cut the video out.
Oh, okay.
So I let everybody know. But you can't see it, but right over here I've got my DVD collection. I cannot believe I don't have a copy of, as much as I like Lone Wolf McQuade, I don't have a physical or digital copy of that. And let's see. I'm going to show these because I got these thanks to my buddy. He got Tim. He got from the video store. And I'm going to show you these movies, and then we'll take a minute. And if y'all want to show some comics, we will. Then we'll get back into the Chuck stuff.
I have nothing.
I want that to
show.
be the main feature.
But I want you to show some comics.
Octagon.
This is one of the greatest fights ever. I can't think of the name of the guy that plays the main villain, but he's also in American Ninja. And I think Mako's in this too. That was also American Ninja.
Dudikoff?
No. It's the Chinese guy that was the bad guy in American Ninja. I can't think of his name.
Here, I'll look it up real quick.
Hey Jeff, have you heard from Matt? If he's going to be on later.
I'm not sure. There's a guy named Tadashi Yamashita.
I think that's him.
He played Sakura.
Sakura, that's him. Chuck. Okay. I mean Chuck. Yeah, I just called Jeff Chuck. Jeff, did you know that this was actually a screenplay for Dirty Harry originally?
No, I did not, but I remember that movie.
It was. And then I made a joke, even though I love this movie. I love Silent Rage. I did make a joke about this being Chuck Norris versus Timu Michael Myers. And then, of course, I've got the box set that has that. I actually had the video cassette packed away. My buddy Bruce, now I'm calling Tim Bruce Lee. Wow, I'm trying to set up a fight between Tim and Jeff. Tim gave me.
I forfeit.
When Tim gave me when the video store closed, Tim gave me some VHS copies, and I got VHS copies of it was Fist of Fury, but keep in mind these are the American versions. So it said Fist of Fury, but it was Big Boss. Chinese Connection was Fist of Fury, and I want to say he may have gave me Enter the Dragon, and I think the Return of the Dragon, and then of course we got
Delta Force. Yeah.
Delta Force.
Missing in Action.
Coincidentally, I picked this up today for $1. It was a 2-pack of the Hero and the Terror and Invasion USA.
Yep.
But fun fact for fun facts for Delta Force 2. Now, there's a short that I saw where Hulk Hogan was talking, and of course, yes, this comes from Hulk Hogan. So it may be true, it may not be true. I don't know. I haven't found anything to suggest it otherwise. But he says that while he was filming Walker, Texas Ranger, and him and Chuck was talking, and there's a scene in Delta Force 2 where Chuck's supposed to get into a helicopter. At the end, but he had to go do something. I forgot what he had to do. But he had to leave. And Chuck's stuntman said, look, Chuck, all we got to do is this last part. They don't have to see your face to get into the helicopter. He said, we'll film it. I'll get in the helicopter. We'll take off, and that'll be the end of it. He said, you go ahead and go do what you got to do. So he was getting in whatever vehicle he was in and riding off, and he turned around and saw the helicopter crash and killed everybody on board.
Oh.
So that's that. But granted, this story was told by Hulk Hogan, so I don't know if it's true or not. I have not. I typed in Delta Force movie helicopter crash, and it was showing real life Delta Force helicopter crashes. So, I don't know if that's true. But I will tell you this: the next time you watch Delta Force 2, the scene toward the end when they're fighting in the village, there is a scene where somebody shoots a rocket, and that narrowly misses Chuck Norris's face. You see him jerk back.
Woo!
Like that.
Man, those action movies where they have the explosions and the shootouts and all that stuff. I mean, just look at the Alec Baldwin thing a couple years ago or whenever it was.
You know what I point to before that one? The Brandon Lee thing.
Yeah, I mean those things are. They have safety folks. They have stunt people, but people are human. They make mistakes, and things can go wrong, man. Go wrong.
Brandon Lee was innocent as heck.
Refer to me as the dragon from now on.
Yeah, Tim the Dragon Williams.
Tony, you should show some comics and stuff. Show you what you showed on that
Okay,
video
well,
the other day.
What video?
I have no idea.
What video are you talking about?
Don't you have comics or stuff? I have nothing.
I'm going to show you 4 things, and that's it. And I got these in the mail. Jeff's going to really appreciate the first 2 because they're bricks. I got G.I. Joe Compendium Volume 1. It's a brick.
Yes, it is.
Contains G.I. Joe, the Real American Hero 1 through 50 from Marvel Comics.
I got my brick sitting right over there.
And then brick number 2.
That one I do not have.
Volume 2.
I got to get it. I want to get the Transformers ones too.
Volume 3 is coming out soon. This one contains, now this has a misprint on the back.
Jeff, there's the Transformers one on my LCS.
Yeah. But it says it contains G.I. Joe, Real American Hero 51 through 78. It actually goes to 76. It has all the yearbooks and the first 15 issues of the special missions.
Oh, cool.
So, Tony, I forgot to tell you last night, I messed up recording for the Black Cat figure because I forgot to mention, like, she had fur on her boots, and I'm not going to upload it.
All right.
Does she have apple bottom jeans?
Wish.
Now, every time I try to bring up the chat, my internet starts getting squirrely. But Tim says, yeah, but the only martial arts I know is a Scottish version of Kung Fu called Fukyu.
Fukyu?
I'm a black belt in Run Fast.
Now, my mouth has a black belt. I mean, I can talk a lot of shit. Now, for those of you who watched the video where I unboxed the Captain America Omnibus, you should have known that probably wasn't going to be the only one I got. I got 2 other Silver Age omnibuses. And I'm going to tell you right now, I paid $30 for both of these.
Damn.
But I got the Avengers omnibus.
Wow.
This has the first 30 issues of the Avengers.
Wow.
Nice.
And I'll be doing now, and believe it or not, this is a JR cover. I'll be doing. I'm going to be doing a videos where I actually open them up and show off the insides of them. And I got this other one. We're still in the Silver Age. It says the Invincible Iron Man Omnibus, Volume 1. This contains Tales of Suspense 39 through 83 and Tales to Astonish 82. So,
oh, that's freaking awesome.
From Iron Man's first appearance all the way up to issue 83. And I know Volume 2 starts at 84 and goes through the first so many issues of the Volume 1 Iron Man run. So, yeah, I've been dabbling with the omnibuses, and, you know.
I like them. If I could afford them, I mean, you found a great deal, but if I could afford them, yeah, man, I'd be getting a couple of them.
I paid, okay, the most I paid was, I think I paid $38 for the Captain America, 45 shipped. Then I paid 36 shipped for those 2. And it was a eBay seller named Fanaticals. Now, they're really cool. They also came with like these little extra, like an extra book. I forgot what I did with them. But here's the problem. The only problem I have against them is if you don't mind waiting 4 weeks for them to come in, you'll get them. But I mean,
hey, I got nothing but time, man. I'm retired.
But like for example, that Avengers omnibus on Amazon, it was $100.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah. I had an Infinity Gauntlet omnibus that had all the crossover books, every Every Infinity Gauntlet crossover book that there was, it was in that omnibus, including all the Infinity Gauntlet comics. And that thing was freaking gorgeous, man. It was beautiful, but I had to sell it. But I got more money for it than I paid, because I paid retail, and I think it was either $90 or $100 retail, and I sold it for $130. I guess like people are collecting them and they want to know like what print you have or what edition or however it works for fucking omnibus.
Yeah, they reprint them. There's several editions. From what I'm understanding, I've been talking to people that collect omnibuses, and like the Marvel ones are like well, there's certain Marvel ones, like I seen one for $30 that had the first, I don't know how many issues of Volume 2 of What If. So I thought that was pretty cool. But they said like stuff like Amazing Spider-Man, your real popular Marvel stuff, that as soon as it comes out, it sells out.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get them for cheaper than $100.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask you guys, well, Vogs, you want to show? Do y'all got anything y'all want to show off before I get back to Chuck?
No, I have nothing. Yes, you do.
All right. So we'll start with Jeff. Jeff, you can answer these at the same time, or you can answer them separately. Chuck Norris, what is your top 5 favorite movies and your top 5 favorite fights?
Ooh.
Just heads up, I'm not going to be able to answer all of those.
You don't have to. Just answer.
Top 5 favorite movies would probably be obviously number 1. I got to go with The Way of the Dragon. That's number 1. Second favorite, Lone Wolf McQuade. Third, Delta Force. Fourth one is I get confused. Is Missing in Action a movie by itself, or is it one of the Invasion USA movies?
No, Missing in Action is its own series. There's 3 of them.
Okay, so Missing in Action, the first one, number 4,
okay.
And then Invasion USA, number 5.
All right.
Number 1 favorite fight scene is obviously
yeah
Bruce and Chuck. But after that, the fight scenes, that's tough, because this is gonna sound corny. I love a bunch of the ass kicking that Chuck Norris did in Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh yeah, I actually played a clip from there.
Yeah,
I only had 2 clips, and this is the other one.
Got no right?
No!
I think that's pretty good, right?
So my my ex-wife, her grandmother, she lived with her grandmother, and when we'd go visit her. Her grandmother loved Walker, Texas Ranger. That was her show. So when we hung out there, we always watched it. So I got obviously I seen a bunch of them. So most after The Way of the Dragon, it gets kind of blurry, because a lot of them are there you go. Because a lot of them are more action, not quite as much karate fight type stuff, lots of explosions, machine guns and stuff. But yeah, a lot of the Walker, Texas Ranger fights is the best answer I could give you for that.
Oh yeah. Now I'll be honest with you. Chuck does a lot of great moves in his movies and stuff, but I love the roundhouse kick. Okay, I love it. But there is something about, I don't know what you would call it, but you see it a lot in Walker. You see it in some of the other matches, other ones, where he leads off with like a swinging punch. Sometimes he connects, sometimes he don't. But he'll turn his body around, and when he's pivoting around, he smacks him again for that second punch.
Spinning back fist.
And he does it so fast. Yeah, and he does it so fast. I love that freaking technique. I mean,
yeah.
But I mean, I'm going to play another. Go ahead.
Yeah, that a lot of the times that lead punch, not necessarily meant to land. They call it a feint in boxing. It's just to make you think, oh, he's throwing a jab, so you either turn or you slip or you throw up your guard, not knowing that the real power punch is coming right behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, it's like he does something, but he turns around, and when he comes around, he's like, wham, and you're like, whoa. I mean, and I'm going to play. So this is what happens for all the bad guys that want to take on Chuck Norris, this is usually what
happens. As you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
This is the truth.
But yeah. But I mean, yeah, like I said, I mean, I grew up. I loved Chuck as a kid. There always used to be a joke about the reason why ninjas weren't around in the 80s wasn't because they weren't still around. It was because Chuck Norris killed most of them.
Yeah. Did you hear Chuck Norris had made the Germans secede, give up in World War II?
Yeah, well,
he was born a few days later.
Chuck Norris built a hospital he was born in, and then he drove his white mom home after he was born.
Oh yeah, I forgot that one. So good.
Now I'm going to do one that I'm going to amend it because I don't know if Chuck ever went to college, so I'm just going to amend it and say this: when Chuck joined the Air Force, he told his dad, "You're the man of the house now."
Oh damn! There's so many of those. When Chuck Norris does push-ups, the Earth goes down.
Oh yeah. He pissed in a gas tank of a semi, and now the semi is referred to as Optimus Prime. I mean,
got bit by a rattlesnake. The rattlesnake died 2 hours later.
Now, Jeff, I'm gonna show you the ones I actually have pictures for. You tell me what you think about these. We got when Chuck Norris does a push-up, he isn't lifting himself up; he's pushing the earth down. Then we got Chuck Norris built the hospital he was born in. Chuck Norris can rub 2 pieces of fire together and make wood. Chuck Norris once fought Batman for a bet. The loser got the night shift. Freddy Krueger has nightmares about Chuck Norris. And Chuck Norris can kill 2 stones with 1 bird.
Dude, there's gotta be hundreds of them now. Hundreds.
Dude, I think he made his. I think he published his own book. You know, Chuck Norris facts. Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Katana has one. Chuck Norris once went skydiving without a parachute. The hole he created when he landed is now called the Grand Canyon.
And he also took the parachute back for a refund.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Norris can pull an apple off an orange tree and make the best lemonade you've ever drank.
It's just endless.
Yeah. What was it? Chuck Norris went to Burger King and got a Big Mac.
What time are we going till, Tony? Like
we're going for as long as we want.
Cool.
No, but old Chuck though, he was a Hollywood guy, obviously, but he was not just a Hollywood ass kicker. He was a real life ass kicker.
Yeah. Dude, before you jumped on, Tony and I were talking about Total Jim. Remember him and Christy Brinkley?
Yeah.
God, Christy Brinkley.
Yeah, I'll show.
She made every workout look hot.
Yeah. I'll show it for Jeff. Jeff, check it out. It's sitting there in the corner, not being used.
Oh, there it is.
Is Christy Brinkley on the cover?
No, I didn't get Christy. She didn't show up or none of that stuff.
I remember that commercial would come on every night, like at midnight or something.
Dude, and she's still gorgeous to this day.
I will tell you this, and I'll try not to get too religious or anything, but the fact that, you know, he was vacationing in Hawaii. Dude, on his birthday, he made a freaking video saying, on my birthday, I don't, what was he said? He said, on my birthday, I don't get another year, I level up or something like that. but he's sparring, you know?
Yeah.
And he looks great. And then
does he have kids?
Yeah, he has 5 kids.
Damn.
But the thing is,
wonder what his kids do.
I don't know, man. But what I was wondering is, you know, they say he got put in the hospital for a medical emergency.
Yep.
And then he died. He died the next day.
Yeah. Well, how old was he?
He was 86.
Yeah, that's a long life. That is a long life.
But he was a pretty damn good looking 86-year-old. He looked good for 86. I mean, But the thing is nobody's talking about what the emergency was. I've yet to see anything that, and I can understand the family wanting to keep that under wraps. I mean, we got to respect the family's privacy,
Yeah. Yeah.
and give them time to grieve.
Yeah. And the truth is, even though he's a public figure, him passing away, it's really nobody's business.
No. I mean, it was nice enough for the family to let us know that it happened.
Yep.
But I mean, but also, the family. Okay, so we know him as Chuck Norris, the undefeated karate champion, made kick-ass movies in the 80s and 90s, a legend for his own memes and everything. But that was dad. That was a husband to them. That he was just dad.
Yep.
So I mean, but could you imagine? I don't know if Chuck Norris had any daughters.
Well, if he had five kids, statistically, he had to have at least one or two. I'm guessing. I don't know.
I know he had. I believe Mike is the name of one. I used to be able to tell you every one of his kids' names.
Well, let me Google it real quick.
He has 5 children, including Mike and Eric, but it does not say the names of his other children. Okay, he had 2 sons, Mike and Eric, from his first marriage. And then they had fraternal twins in 2001. Oh, yeah, he has a daughter named Dina White. He had a daughter named Dina, and he also had 13 grandchildren.
Dang.
Woo. Yeah, so he married Diane Holcheck, and that was from Norris married Diane Holcheck in December 1958.
Wow.
He was 18, she was 17. After 30 years, they separated in 1988. They had 2 sons, Mike and Eric. Then Norris married Gina O'Kelly, a model, 23 years younger than he is.
Yeah.
They had fraternal twins and also a daughter, Dina. Norris had the couple had fraternal twins born in 2001. And then Norris also had a daughter, Dina, from an extramarital relationship. Whoopsies. While stationed in California during his service in the Air Force, he began seeing a woman named Joanna without disclosing that he was married to Holcheck. Norris and Dina met in 1990, publicly acknowledged her in 2004, and had 13 grandchildren. Yeah, there's probably some stuff under the rug that they don't want out.
Now, my friend Jennifer said maybe he staged his death. It'll be the next conspiracy theory, maybe. And then also this: imagine coming to pick up your girl for a first date, and her dad is Chuck Norris.
Oh, I'd be like, fuck. Man. Nope. Turn around.
Yikes.
Mr. Norris, she will be home at 10 p.m. sharp.
9:50.
Dude, he'd be the dad who would have the lights off, and if he's late, he puts on the light and he's like, she's late. Cracks his knuckles.
I can see it now. The girl go like, hey, you want to play a little? Oh, no. There ain't no playing here. Okay, it's another Chuck Norris fact. There's not one street in the United States named after Chuck Norris because nobody crosses Chuck Norris. Oh, and of course, there's another one. This one's popular. It says Chuck Norris and Superman once fought, and the loser had to wear their underwear out over their clothes. So, and Chuck Norris did visit the Virgin Islands. They are referred to now as the Islands. Now, there's another joke that's been posted around since he passed away, but I'm not going to say that one because I don't want to offend any religions, so I'm not going to say that one. But
you're going to say it.
No, I will say this: Jesus Christ could walk on water, but Chuck Norris could swim and land.
That's great.
He also built a snowman out of rain. Man, we could do this for the next 2 hours, but we don't end up putting all our my 3 viewers to sleep.
Dude, I've got nothing till 10 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm good.
Well, we're not going to 10 a.m. Sorry.
No, I know. We'll probably go for a little bit more.
Hey, Jeff, you was talking about Lone Wolf McQuaid. Did you know that David Carradine had in his contract that he was not to lose? Usually in a fight, he's not to lose. He's not to be killed or lose in a hand-to-hand combat.
Really?
Yeah, that's why he died going into a building and the air grenade. But keep in mind that was the 80s, because when you get to Kill Bill, how did Uma Thurman kill him? You know, the one-handed. What was it? The 5-second, whatever, the finger touch or whatever.
I forgot the heart punch. I can't. 5-finger death punch or something. I don't know.
Exploding heart. Yeah, 5-step. It was like 5-step or something. Exploding heart technique or something.
I can't remember. I watched Kill Bill one time, and I haven't watched it since, so I forgot a lot about that movie.
Dude, I got them both on DVD, and I've actually bought they got it on Fandango now. It used to be Vudu, but they got that one, The Whole Bloody Affair, where it's all put together. And I actually sat down and watched the whole freaking thing, dude, for like 4 hours.
Oh, I like this one. Katana says, the liquid metal T-1000 from Terminator picked a fight with Chuck Norris. It's now the mercury and the thermometer on Chuck Norris's porch. That's a good one.
That is a good one. That is a good one.
I messaged Matt. He doesn't think he's coming tonight, but hopefully someone else jumps on too.
The 5-point palm explode. We're not good enough for you, Will.
Yeah, Will.
Sorry. We're sorry,
Come
Will.
on, dude.
Do you even YouTube, bro?
Dude.
Will,
do you even YouTube, bro?
Am I gonna have to spinning back fist you?
Probably.
The 5-point palm exploding heart technique.
There, thank you, Tim. And Aaron says Tony is back. That's right. Come on, Will.
Aaron, jump on. Do you want me
he's doing he's doing a thing, man. He's doing a thing.
What do you mean?
He's got a thing. Yep. I picked up some books from his claim sale, and then even after the claim sale was over with, he sent me some more Ghost Riders. So
nice.
I owe him some money.
What do you mean he's doing a thing?
It's a joke, man. You ever watching any mafia movies? He's doing a thing.
Oh, he's
got, come on, Will. He's got to take care of a thing. You know,
he's got that thing, man.
Yeah.
He said he may be able to jump on soon.
Will, yeah, I seen you ask too many questions. Not good for your health, Will. You understand?
I'm trying to think of good Chuck
He actually, he said, Tim said, I actually just made that joke about the T-1000.
That's a good one. I like it. It's original.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up Chuck Norris jokes. Well,
that's going to be a long list.
Chuck Norris is so good at Connect 4, he won it in 3 moves.
Prepare yourself, chat.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, Chuck Norris knows Victoria's Secret.
That's right.
I've heard that.
Chuck Norris has a grizzly bear on the floor of his house, and the grizzly bear is not dead. It's just afraid to move.
Time waits for no man unless that man is Chuck Norris.
That's right. Okay, two more. Chuck can divide by 0, and he counted to infinity twice.
I'm not trying to go against religion here. I'm going to name a few just because. When God said, let there be light, Chuck Norris said, say please.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
Heresy.
What's the one about the revolving door? I forget. Chuck Norris can close a revolving door.
Yeah. So Jennifer says Chuck Norris is Victoria's Secret. Oh, he said, yeah, he called me earlier and we were talking about Terminator. And I guess that inspired. Because I was asking him, another movie I picked up for $1 I picked up Terminator Genesis. And I was trying to remember all the Terminator movies because to see how many I had on DVD. And I've got all of them except for Dark Fate. And I don't think they released Dark Fate on DVD. I'm not sure.
What is there? 9 or
there's 6.
6.
But
I get 9.
I like the first one. The first one's a classic. 2. Oh my Lord. I don't know. Between 1 and 2, it's really hard for me to pick my favorite because 2 is just so amazing. I like 3. Be honest with you, I don't have a problem with any of them. I haven't watched Dark Fate. I've not watched that one yet. But
I binge watched them.
I was one of those when they made
stupidest one.
When I seen Terminator Salvation, I wanted one. Go ahead.
Tony, Chuck, you know how kids pee their name in the snow? Chuck Norris pees his name in the concrete.
When they made Terminator Salvation, I was wanting to see one of the Terminator films in the future. So that didn't bother me at all.
Yeah. I saw a video. I saw one that said Chuck Norris, a dinosaur once looked Chuck Norris in a mean way. You know the rest of the story.
Well, that's like they're saying that they were going to put Chuck Norris on Mount Rushmore, but the granite was too weak for his beard.
Yeah, I googled all the Terminator movies and what the order is to watch them in, and over like a Friday through Sunday, I just binged them and I watched them just boom, 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 boom.
Nice.
And
y'all, we gotta welcome somebody in the chat. I'm gonna use the same video that I used to introduce Jeff.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
And in case y'all were wondering, that clip is from Invasion USA.
Yeah.
What's up, Eric?
Will?
What up? I saw that shirt at Walmart the other day. I should have bought it.
My mom got me this for my birthday.
Nice. Tony,
so y'all think I'm gonna have to clip that?
Speaking of movies, I watched King of Kings last night for 4 hours.
King of Kings.
Such a good movie.
I watched the 10 Commandments. I watch it every Easter.
Dude, King of Kings, Jeffrey Hunter is such a great, underrated actor.
What's going to happen, Tony?
And my buddy Tim says Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door. What's going to happen?
What's going to happen with this stream now?
I'm just saying that I was going to place bets on whether or not I'd have to cut that clip out where we were watching the fight scene.
No, but it actually said stream no longer available, right?
Really? No.
Yeah, for me, it kicked me out. I was watching it, and it said stream no longer available. And then I tried getting back in. I couldn't get back in. So
that's weird. It says we're still live.
Well, you're live now because I see you now.
It's because I probably turned the video off.
Mm.
But I don't know when it kicked back on, so you just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you get the chance, watch King of Kings.
King of Kings.
Such a good movie. It's long.
So Tony, it's streaming right now on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on now. That's how I knew you guys were here.
Is this movie about Triple H?
What, King of Kings? You're fun. Wish.
Sorry, the bad joke.
No, but Tony, have you seen it before?
No, I didn't even hear about it until you mentioned it, and I seen it on one of the streaming services.
It's Jeffrey Hunter. It's Jeffrey Hunter. It's a great movie. It's long. It's like 3 hours long, but it's a great movie. Rip Torn's in the movie.
Okay.
Rip Torn.
What was you gonna say, Jeff?
I was going to ask, what's the name of the follow-up to Passion of the Christ that Gibson's been working on?
Is it called Resurrection?
Oh, I think that's what it is. Yeah, I'm pretty.
Yeah. Oh, he's making another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be pretty heavy. Pretty heavy. Yeah. Because Mel, I mean, everybody knows Mel Gibson's Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Take that for whatever you take that for. He's a religious man, and he has a problem with the demons that are alive and well in Hollywood.
Yeah,
and he has no problem. Yeah, exactly. And he has no problem shining a light wherever a light needs to be shown.
Yeah,
and he has the resources to get this movie done well, and put out without Hollywood having the power to shut him up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I want to see it.
Yeah, and everybody knows that when he made the first Passion of the Christ, he made it out of his own pocket.
Because he knew Hollywood would never touch it.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna share a couple more things that Tim's been writing them down. He said, if the Avengers had called Chuck Norris to deal with Thanos, Infinity War would have been 20 minutes. And then he says, FYI, the lines on Thanos' chin are from Chuck Norris's boots.
I love that one.
Hey, I just thought it was funny that one of the comics that got spec'd on, I don't even remember the issue number, but it's whatever Marvel team up it was with Spider-Man and Hellcat, where they're fighting Thanos, and Thanos had the Thanos copter. that was a thing. I mean, wow.
I know we moved on from it, but I think I got to go for my Terminator movie. It's got to be Terminator, and it's close between the first one, but I got to go with Terminator 2 because for that time period and when it was released, that molten freaking whatever it was getting blown in, like split in two, blown up with that shotgun was just next level shit back then. It was next level.
And you want to know how many reaction videos I've watched? A lot of Terminator 2 reaction videos where, I mean, it's great. Okay, all of us that was around when the movie come out, we knew when we saw the previews. You know, they pretty much said it in the previews. We knew that Arnold was the good guy. But watching the reaction videos now of people that have never seen the movie, never watched the previews before the movie come out, and that scene where the Terminators meet for the first time and John's in the middle and they're freaking out because they think that Arnold's the bad guy, but they realize he's not. And then nobody gets the freaking Guns N' Roses reference in any of these videos where he's walking around carrying roses and then all of a sudden there's a shotgun out of the roses. And I'm like, it's Guns N' Roses, y'all. Damn. You know, but, I see, and but like what you said, Jeff, as a kid, I remember the first time I watched Terminator and it scared the shit out of me because it's got those horror elements. You know, watching this guy just punch through a freaking windshield, and you're like, what the hell, man?
Unstoppable.
I mean, and because I seen, I'd seen Arnold. I'd watch Conan. And I was like, and all of a sudden I was like, wow, man, this is freaking crazy. And then, like you said, all the stuff with T2 and the special effects still hold to this day.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
when he turns his hand into that long freaking super needle sharp stabbing thing. Oh, that was so creepy. I was
Terminator 2?
Yeah.
For some reason, man, I went to the theater and saw that, right? But I didn't watch
I did too.
I didn't watch any of the previews, so I had an expectation that'd be all right, sequel or whatever. But my mind was blown away. I was pleasantly surprised, man, coming out of Terminator 2 as a kid.
Okay, though,
holy freak,
guys! Vog said he didn't know if he'd make it, but he's here, so I'm gonna bring him in with the same intro. So here we go.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a lift.
Hey, Matt.
Hey.
When Will said we're on Tony's, I thought he meant like Oval for some reason.
Come on,
my brain was. I was tired. I'm tired, so I apologize. But I am here.
So I caught part of what you did, Matt.
Now it's a party. Y'all.
I caught part of what you did there with Rock and Robbie. Pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, he's going
okay, guys.
He's going to review Major League with us Wednesday.
Nice.
Okay, guys. Since we got some fresh blood, I'm going to ask Matt and Aaron, which one of y'all want to go first? Your favorite Chuck Norris movies and your favorite fights. Who wants to go first?
You go first, Matt. Jeez.
Well, let's say Missing in Action. Invasion USA is pretty dope. I'm gonna go a little old school. I like Lone Wolf McQuade a lot. Lone Wolf McQuade, Breaker. I don't know if anybody remembers that one where I think his brother Aaron Norris is like a truck driver and gets kidnapped by this like sheriff. It might not be Aaron Norris, so I might remember it wrong. But Chuck has to come get his brother. And then there's another one where he's a San Francisco police officer. He quits the force. They kill his girlfriend, and he goes out for vengeance against these guys. It's called Eye for an Eye. Yeah. It's a pretty dope movie. And it's got some pretty badass fight scenes in it. And of course, I don't know if it's considered a Chuck Norris movie, but obviously The Way of the Dragon. And I guess the Delta Force, but I like that one, but
you don't like Delta Force?
I like it, but it's not my favorite.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, man. I like the goofy ones, you know.
Well, yeah, I like the goofy ones and like Sidekicks. Although he's not really good at Chuck's strong point is not comedy. Let's just put that. He's a straight man, obviously. Yeah. But like, and I always argued the kid in Sidekicks was schizophrenic because he's like seeing all these like ninjas and stuff come up that's not really happening. Yeah. But like with Chuck, his fights, of course, the top one's got to be from The Way of the Dragon. The one he did with Bruce Lee was almost like a real fight. It felt like, even though I know they weren't really hitting each other, but they really worked on that choreography for a long time. And I like the fight against the POW guy, camp guy, and Missing in Action. I think it's him that does that in the movie.
Yeah, Missing in Action.
And then the terrorist guy. That guy was always the bad guy in the Invasion USA.
Yeah,
was always like in these movies where he's like a real piece of crap.
Yeah.
So it's enjoyable to see him get his butt kicked, you know. And in Sidekicks, when he fights, what's his name? It's supposed to be like, he's supposed to be like a rip off of Creasy from Crease from the sensei from Karate Kid kind of thing. He beats the shit out of him. He deserved it. And finally, I'll probably compare this one to one of my favorite ones, and that's the fight with David Carradine at the end of Long War.
Was it a grenade?
Yeah, man. I told them David Carradine had a stipulation in the contract that he was not to lose or die in a hand-to-hand fight. And
how'd that work out for him?
Yeah, I was going to put on here. Tim's still talking about Terminator. He says it's ironic that James Cameron played with the idea of casting O.J. Simpson as the Terminator, but changed his mind because at the time he didn't think people would believe O.J. is a stone cold killer. Anyway, but now, Matt, when's the last time you watched Delta Force 2?
Probably when it came out, to be honest with you.
If you watch it again, the fight in the village, somebody shoots a rocket, and just for a split second, it almost hits Chuck Norris in the face. You actually see him jerk back.
Dang, dude.
I mean, it's that fast.
Have you ever seen
I said, the Hitman?
Yeah, it's not the best. It's like a later stage, like Canon picture before they went out of business. It's not the best, but
it's on my list.
We're missing a lot of great fights. So there was a lot of great fight scenes in Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yep.
I thought there was. Like, I remember there's one episode where he's like in the water or something, and he's got this big gun. He's got his pistol, his handgun, and this jet's coming at him, and he shoots the jet out of the sky with his gun.
That sounds like a Chuck Norris.
You know, and I never saw the one where he's a mountain man, but there's like a part that this one where he's a mountain man, and there's guys cutting a tree down with a chainsaw. He stops the chainsaw with his bare hand. Only the way Chuck could do it, right?
Tony said there's an unreleased Chuck Norris movie.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out in 2027 called Zombie Plane.
And what's the name of the zombie guy? What was the name of that one? That guy was like a zombie. Like it's like, that's it right there. Silent Rage. That's a good movie.
Tony, I'll talk to you about after the show about something I want to ask you something.
Yeah, I already showed. I showed the guys my latest 2 acquisitions. Besides the GI
Oh
Joe,
yeah, you have to show these.
I got the Iron Man omnibus. This has Tales of Suspense 39 to 83 and Tales to Astonish 82. Yeah, 82.
So they don't have the demon in the bottle, right?
Oh, not yet. That's probably volume 3 or 4.
I just watched that clip that Jeff sit in the backstage. Damn, it almost hit him right in the head. That almost hit him right in the head.
Oh, yeah. I'll see if I can play the clip. This is the Alex Ross cover. And then I got this one. It's the first 30 issues of Avengers. So let's see if I can load it up.
It's only 8 seconds. It's only 8 seconds.
Well, you missed it earlier. I think we got knocked down because I was trying to play the entire Fight for the Way of the Dragon.
Yeah, this one you could play. I would say I'd have to review the Chuck Norris movies. I would say Invasion USA was pretty awesome, but pretty hardcore, like that, doing the cocaine scene and stuff, the villains that was involved with that. Do you remember that, Matt?
Oh yeah, the one that bad guy in the Invasion USA.
It was just over the fuck. It was over the top, crazy.
The table, the coke straw goes up her nose. I was like, oh my god,
that was so scary in a way. Like,
that freaked me out.
Yeah,
I like where he drops that grenade in that guy's pants.
It's got to be Invasion USA, man.
First thing I'm gonna do is take off the banner because it's blocking Voxy. Okay, so I'm gonna play this, and this is a blink and you'll miss it. It's so fast.
Yeah, one way he moved his head.
Dude, I'll say this: he smelled the smoke off that fucking projectile. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Dude, that's crazy.
Here we go.
How close that came to his head.
Here we go.
He was going to go the right, and then he saw that missile coming, and he went like this. He's got quick reflexes. I'll give him that because
that was.
But that missile would have never been, it would have never hit its target. Chuck would have hit Chuck, and it would have bounced off him or something.
I'm surprised he didn't catch it, throw it back at him.
Oh, yeah, he would have caught it.
Oh, y'all lose something?
I wonder if somebody got punched in the face after that scene.
Oh man, I don't know. Man.
Hey, I told the guy with the bazooka's like, whoosh, sees it almost hit Chuck in the head, and he's like, "Hey man, hey, that wasn't on purpose, man."
It's cool they were firing off real ammo, like real bazookas and shit.
That's crazy though. Now, Aaron and Matt, I told the guys. Now the other Delta Force 2 thing, I don't know if it's true. I can't find anything to back it up. If I ever can, I'll play it later on some other time. But apparently, and granted, the source is Hulk Hogan. There you go.
Dubious.
So he told a story about when he was filming Walker, Texas Ranger, that Chuck told him that when he was filming, he said one of the Delta Force movies, which of course it was part 2, the scene where they get into the chopper. He had to go do something. I don't remember what it was. His stunt double pretty much told him, "Hey, you go ahead and go. I'll take care of this. They just need a scene of you climbing into the chopper to fly off. They don't need to see your face. I'll take care of this. You go do what you got to do." So he got in the car to leave. He turned around just in time to see the helicopter crash, and everybody died.
Wow.
So, and for those of you who don't know, Missing in Action, he dedicated that to his brother Wyland, who died in Vietnam.
Yeah, he lost his older brothers in Vietnam.
Yeah, his brother.
He was in the Air Force, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in the Air Force for 4 years. He wanted to be an MP because his idea for his life was to be an MP and then go into law enforcement. Finally, he's going to become a cop in L.A. and then become an FBI agent. But then he discovered Tang Sudo.
Sounds like Jeff's life story.
Well,
yeah, I would have much rather have been a freaking rich movie star. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that he trained Bob Barker, Priscilla Presley, the Osmonds, and freaking Steve McQueen. Yeah, he trained Bob Barker.
Well, you didn't see Bob Barker whip the shit out of Happy Gilmore?
Oh,
yeah, dude.
Well, a lot of those guys are like martial arts. You wouldn't think like Benny the Jet. He trained John Cusack out of kickbox. And actually, John Cusack's not a bad kickboxer. Like Benny said that this one guy thought he'd get real cocky with it, and they were sparring, and John Cusack knocked the dude out.
And also when he first came to this country, Chuck Norris trained with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, Van Damme knew some martial arts, not a lot. Yeah.
Where's Van Damme from again?
Brussels.
He has the muscles from Brussels.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And of course, we all know that Chuck would just whoop Steven Seagal's ass. But anyway.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Well, I love the story about Judo Gene LaBelle choking him out and making him poop on himself. I really hope
I'm
that's
pretty
true.
sure. I'm almost sure, from what I've been hearing about him lately, I'm almost certain that. Now, granted, he's got to know some Aikido.
Yeah.
I don't think it's built like he
Well,
brags.
Joe Rogan had some guys on his show one day that were martial artists, and they're like, he said, well, the Aikido is a martial art, but that alone you could not use to because if you watch what he does those Aikido demonstrations, these people they're moving with him because they're not really doing nothing. It's not. I'm not saying it's not a form of self, but Aikido is something you have to use along with other martial arts.
Yeah.
It's not really. I don't know. See, that's the problem with that stuff. Is what Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris both realized in the 60s was that one style is not going to help. You need to know different styles and then put them together into a different kind of style. That's why they both invented their own fighting style. Like Jeet Kune Do, and Chuck had his own style. It was called Chuck something. It was called Chuck something. But
yeah.
But like Tony said though, like Chuck Norris's martial arts resume is astounding. But the one that sticks out the most to me is that I forgot the degree, but he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu under the Jean-Jacques Machado family.
Yeah.
That's no joke, dude. He'll fucking choke you to death. He won't have to punch you.
Yeah.
Well, like the judo and jiu-jitsu is like probably two of the most practical
absolutely
martial arts you can do. That's why Gene LaBelle was so badass. Is that judo stuff? He trained Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Damn.
So Ronda Rousey was a gold medalist before she was the UFC champion. So
what do you guys think about Chuck Norris's fighting record being 183 wins, 10 losses, and 2 knockouts or 2 draws?
Who did he lose to?
He lost his first 10 fights.
Oh.
And after he became the karate world champion, he never lost again. He retired undefeated.
Wow.
Well, it sounds like he had a hard knock starting out, and then he figured it out, and then nobody could beat him.
That sounds like the making of a champion. Nobody starts off in combat sports and just wins from fucking day one. That doesn't happen.
No.
Well, when Mike Tyson was in Golden Gloves, he lost some fights.
Yeah, the way you learn is by getting your ass kicked.
Like before he became polished by Kuzumoto, he had to have the hard knocks because he was a raw boxer, raw fighter.
Yep.
But Kuzumoto saw something in him. I think I'm saying his name right.
Customato.
He molded him to be the warrior he was. Like that's what you got to be in that mindset. Like Mike Tyson was like, he told Joe Rogan. Yeah, and he told Joe Rogan one night, he's like, I don't want to get that mindset no more. Because when I was in that mindset, I was wanting to destroy whoever was on the other corner. And that's what you got to do if you want to be a fighter.
Customato saw, because he knew Mike Tyson when Tyson was like, frick, how old was he? Super young. Like
13 years old, I think.
But obviously he was a physical phenom. but he was already living on the streets, living this horrible, traumatic life. His mother was a prostitute, just the worst things you could think of, right? He saw. But
sorry,
I was just say he saw that raw, like that raw animal inside of him, that dog in him, and said, I can take this and, you know, get it under control to where he doesn't wind up in prison.
Yeah.
And put some gloves on him and make him a heavyweight champion. That he did.
Well, like, I think the story goes that like he was in juvenile detention, and there's a guy there that taught him boxing, right? And he was in there for like strong arm robbing people when he was like 13 years old.
Yep.
And in the streets where he's from. And so that guy saw it. He's like, there's only so much I can do for you, but I know somebody that you need to go, you know, train with. And Customato was like, you need to come live with me in the Catskills, because if you go back to your neighborhood, you're going to get put back in jail, or you're going to get shot by somebody, and you're going to end up in prison if you don't get shot.
If you really look at Mike Tyson's biography, it's pretty heartbreaking. It's really tragic, because the first person that showed him any type of father role type love was Customato. He made him feel like, hey, you're not nothing. You're something. And you're capable of great things, and I'm going to make we're together. We're going to make you the heavyweight champion of the world. We're going to make you, because Mike Tyson loved Muhammad Ali, right? That was his, like Muhammad Ali was up here, you know. But Customato did that very thing. And
I'll be back, Tony.
There's interview footage of some schmuck that's interviewing Mike Tyson, and he asked him, you know, hey, Mike, talk to us about your relationship and how you feel about Customato. And Tyson started to choke up, and he wasn't about to cry on TV. He's a fucking professional boxer, you know. And he's like, I'm gonna have to take a moment. You understand, don't you? And he started to take the little mic thing off, and I'm like, dude, you better let this guy off camera and out of the room right now. Because you pushed an emotional button on him that he does not know how to deal with, and that could go bad for you in a real fucking bad way, you know.
I didn't know all that stuff about Customato. I just knew about Don King.
Don King's a piece of shit.
You can see what happened to Mike Tyson after Customato died. All these leeches started showing up. If Customato had not died when he did, he might not have ended up like he did, because when he went to prison, and I think everybody pretty much, or at least 90% of the people now are pretty sure that he did not do what they put him in prison for. A lot of people, I mean, I'm one, because I heard the story before, and the lady that accused him of that had accused like 10 other people of the same thing.
Wow.
And he just happened to have the bad luck of being in Indiana where they didn't like him. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think maybe he probably shouldn't have been there with that girl. It's the same situation with Kobe Bryant. But he put himself in that situation. That's how he ended up there, even though he didn't do it. But like while he was in prison, Don King stole every dime he had.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, it's just like he lost his mother, and then he gets another parental figure, and then he dies.
Yeah.
You know,
so Don King's ripping him off, and all of his entourage, his little hangers around, his crew, whatever you want to call them. A lot of those guys were taking advantage of him too financially, but the ones that were truly truly loved Mike and didn't take advantage of Mike and talked about him, they're like, everyone knows Mike Tyson as this terrifying heavyweight champion that was just mowing guys down, but they didn't understand that beside that persona was like the most kind, giving, gentle, like loving soul that you would ever meet. If you were a good person to him, that's all you got to do. But he was surrounded by wolves.
Hey Tony, I didn't mean to turn your Chuck Norris tribute into a Mike Tyson tribute.
Oh, that's my fault. That's my fault too. I'm like a Mike Tyson. Like I'm a huge Mike Tyson fan, so that's my fault.
Yeah. He's one of my favorite. As a matter of fact, I thought about. I saw these signed prints of Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson's Punch Out Mike Tyson, signed by Mike Tyson. I was thought about getting one at one point because it was like $100, but I never got it.
Boxers are like the toughest people in the world.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna play a game, but I know this game is gonna be one-sided. So, all right. So here's the deal. This is all we gotta do. We're gonna have a little fun. So I'm gonna name an actor, or I'm gonna name somebody, and everybody feel free to say something when they think that this person can beat Chuck Norris in a fight. Okay. Y'all ready?
Sure.
Are y'all ready? Let's start off easy. Pee Wee Herman.
No. Unless, no, Tony. Unless Chuck steals his bike, because remember when he thought his neighbor stole his bike, he got into that house and about drowned that kid to death. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah. I mean, are we being honest here? He's in his dream. He could just like create. I don't know, man. That's a tough one, dude. Don't make me say that.
He murders you in your dream. You die, and you get
but
you see the effects of that.
Yeah, sorry, Chuck.
I don't know. I don't know if y'all saw this, but this was one of the memes I showed. Freddy Krueger has nightmares about Chuck Norris.
Well, would Chuck let him manipulate his spirit in his dreams to like matter? You know what I mean? Maybe Chuck would beat him. I don't know. He's got a strong will.
That's an interesting point.
Chuck Norris versus Bolo Young. Do y'all know who Bolo is?
Yeah,
I don't.
Enter the Dragon. Yeah,
he's from Enter the Dragon and Bloodsport.
He's the big muscle bound Chinese guy that Rob Van Dam. I mean, not Rob Van Dam.
Oh, he plays Chong Li.
Chung Lee, yeah.
Oh, Chuck Norris whipped the shit out of him.
Yeah, I agree. Chuck Norris would beat him.
All right. Chuck Norris versus Jackie Chan.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm doing this wrong. I'm just hold on. I'm not even following my own rules. Yeah. So I name somebody and you don't say nothing until I say somebody you think can beat Chuck Norris. Okay.
Okay.
Johnny Lawrence of the Cobra Kai. Sensei Kreese. Steven Seagal. Jean-Claude Van Damme. John Wayne. Oh shit. Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali will beat him.
Muhammad Ali
will knock him out.
It depends. Is it going to be a martial arts match? Or is it going to be a boxing match?
Probably going to be a kickboxing match.
Mixed martial arts, man. Anything goes. Muhammad Ali in his prime.
I just don't know if he's not going to kick, but I got to go with Muhammad Ali because I'm from Kentucky. So
get out, Tim. Jennifer, my friend Jennifer says Betty White could take Chuck Norris. Chuck is too much of an honorable man to hit Betty White. Well, that's true. Let's see. Chuck Norris versus Predator. Okay.
Predator.
Chuck
Norris versus Chuck Norris versus Spawn.
Spawn.
And I'm gonna say the best for last, just so I could just turn that dagger. Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee.
Come on, Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris
the one
wins.
guy.
It depends on me and Jeff had a conversation about this earlier. I think we came to a consensus. It depends on the environment.
Of course.
And the conditions.
Well, what is that called when great fighters fight each other any given Sunday or whatever? Like just you could have a
They call it a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
Now if it's like old school karate tournament match where they don't make no contact and it's all points based,
you already watched.
Chuck would win. If it was a street fight where anything goes, I think Bruce Lee could beat him.
Okay.
I didn't mean nothing insulting about. I mean, even if it was full contact karate in a tournament, Chuck could probably beat him. But like, I just don't know, like in a street fight, because like Bruce Lee grew up on the streets of Hong Kong fighting people.
Yeah.
So why would we just say it would be a draw? Let's just say it would be a draw.
I'm not going to say that.
Actually, I'll go with that. Man, I don't know if you heard me talking about it earlier, but I mentioned something about when they were sparring in '67 when everybody just knew Bruce as the Green Hornet, and Chuck and them were training together. He would go to Bruce's house, and he talks about how Linda would make him tea. He was the one that convinced Bruce to go for the head, because up to that point, Bruce never really he fought to the body, and Bruce didn't believe in going for the head. But Chuck said, "Nah, man, if the head's available, that's the best way to disorient your opponent." And I guess after a little while with Chuck, Bruce started doing the going for the head. You know,
that's how Chuck lost in Way of the Dragon, right?
Yeah,
somebody hits the head.
And like I was telling them when I was doing the fight, when I was playing the fight scene, the stuff with the Coliseum, it was actually this is probably stuff you probably talked about when you did your show. Only some of it was in the Coliseum. Some of it was in a Hong Kong parking lot because it was our back lot because it was against the law to film the Coliseum, and they had to bribe some people just to get the footage they had. And the thing where he grabs his chest hair, that is not his real chest hair, because he approached Chuck to do that, and Chuck told him very politely, "If you rip out my real chest hair, this will be a real fight."
That shit would hurt.
He could have got him to pull out some of his back hair, a little grooming for him.
Yeah.
What was that story where Bruce Lee put it in an envelope and said Chuck Norris's dignity or whatever? And
I've heard that story.
I'm sure it wasn't his real hair, but it's pretty funny.
It's still though.
The thing is, there's a lot of those guys who are talented martial artists. Like the guy that was in the movie, he was in that movie with the scar. He was also in Enter the Dragon. That's Bob Wall.
Bob Wall, yeah.
He was a karate champion too.
Are you guys going to review Enter the Dragon?
One of these days, I'm sure I am.
I hope so. Well,
you know what? I may do a Kung Fu month one time. We'll just do like a Bruce Lee movie, a Chuck Norris movie,
martial art May.
Yeah, I got to do one of the Shaw Scope movies though, like the Five Deadly Venoms. I don't know if anybody's there. If you've never seen the Five Deadly Venoms, I highly recommend it. Also, another one called The Flying Guillotine. This guy's got this like saw blade thing. He throws with a chain on it and just throws it over people's head and cuts their head off. It's called The Flying Guillotine. It
sounds like that old arcade game called Rygar.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Martial arts in May, dude.
You know, it was funny that when I was rattling off all these people against Chuck Norris, there was one person I did not mention. And y'all didn't realize it. Besides Jesus, there's one person I did not mention. You did not hear me say Chuck Norris versus Wing Wing.
No, we'll try pulling that stuff.
I did.
We were reviewing it, Way of the Dragon.
He's in a class of his own.
Yeah.
All right, my friends are gonna go. We're gonna watch Luke Cage season 2. That's what I'm on with the wife right now.
Sweet.
Cool, man. Well, I'm fixing to close it off, and we can hang out backstage and bullshit.
All right, Jeff, we got to watch Major League tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna miss that.
I was gonna say Vozzy's not here, so. There's Vozzy. Vozzy, let's go around the horn and start with you. What you got coming up, brother?
I've been waiting a week to open it, but I'm going to probably record it tomorrow. Is my Daredevil blind bag.
Cool.
So I'm going to open that. I went to a con a few weeks ago and I didn't show what I picked up yet, so I still got to record that. And then I need to think of things on the fly. I may do like show off some of my mini series, like show off a mini series per week. Not talk about like the story, just say, oh, I have this mini series.
Cool.
But I'm still thinking of other stuff.
Cool. Jeff, who you gonna be hanging out with?
You, Matt, Aaron, Boggs, Bruce. That's pretty much it. I think. I don't offense anybody else.
We're reviewing G.I. Joe issue 15 tomorrow.
That's right. There you go. G.I. Joe.
Cool. Cool. Aaron, what you got coming up, brother? I know you just did a claim sale because I owe you some money.
Check out PSG Comics. Today I did a 2-hour dollar holler with free shipping. It was pretty awesome. Check the rewind.
I missed out.
I know. Tomorrow I have the 50 Center Backroom Progress happening. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Check out the videos. They're fun. Thursdays I'm on with Matt, Heroes for Hire. Unless we, at 4 p.m. Pacific. I don't know if we're doing that this week, but I love the Thursday show with Matt.
What should be done? I didn't feel like doing it last week.
I won't be able to make it. My first time meeting my nephew this Thursday.
Awesome. And then Friday, I have a live show Friday. So check out PSG Comics, friends. Do it.
All right, Matt. What we got going on with the Heroes for Hire Comic Club?
I won't tell you everything, but I got a few reviews up right now. I reviewed Daredevil issue 1 and Bizarro Year None and X-Men United 1 issue 1. And tomorrow we're interviewing Shag's Comics on Comic Conversation at 7 p.m. Eastern. He will be giving away about 4 books. 3 of them are Daredevil books, and then one of them is an Eternals book signed by Todd Knox. So
nice.
Wow. So you might want to come and enter that. Really cool guy. He's an Instagram comic book guy. He doesn't really have a YouTube presence, but like he does a lot of cool giveaways and claim sales. And I'm going to ask him about. He's going to Heroes Con because he lives in Charlotte, and he's going to have a scooter race around the NASCAR museum at midnight on I think Saturday. So they're going to take all the little green scooters that you can rent or whatever around town. Will knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. And they're going to do a race around the NASCAR.
I'm not doing that because I don't trust my balance.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I want to watch it though. I just want to watch it. But they should be interesting. But anyway, so we'll be talking about everything under the sun. And then Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, in honor of baseball season starting, and we had opening day last week. We're going to be reviewing Major League, starring Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, Corey Burnson, and Wesley Snipes.
Nice.
Cool.
You know what for me today, Bat? Then I say, fuck you, Joe.
What's his name? Dennis Haysbert plays Serrano, and Bob Uecker is the play-by-play guy. Who is just
so good.
Hilarious.
It's just a bit outside.
He's like, well, Bond hits the pitcher or the batter. About time. It's 12-0.
Bob Uecker.
All right, guys. For me, I haven't posted anything on IG about it, but at 7 o'clock this afternoon or 7 o'clock this evening on the channel, I posted my latest mail call where I unboxed some stuff from the council. Okay, the irony is, the video was about my membership giveaway win I got from the Council of Comics, and also a book I got from Kingdom of Nerds and the Black Order Comic Club.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. But here's the thing: I watched last week's Council of Comics show, and guess what? I won again. So
damn, Tony,
he's a winner.
So yeah, I've got another set of books coming. So I've got a couple other mail call books. You saw at the beginning of this video, I showed you the omnibuses, the G.I. Joe Compendium. I did not show you, however, what I got from Aaron.
Yeah.
So you'll So you get to watch the video and see what I picked up from Aaron. So that'd be pretty cool. I got to record that and I'll drop that soon.
Right.
Sometime soon I'm going to start working on I've been promising it forever. I'm going to start working on the Tony's Comic Spotlight featuring Sandman Volume 2, Issue number 1. I've been promising it forever. I'm going to try to get it done. And I'm also going to work on my official Kiss, where I ranked all the Kiss studio albums. I know Chris the Comic Vet's been waiting to see that one. I wonder what's going to be number 1.
I wonder it could be behind him there.
Maybe. And then I got some other ideas I want to float around. Now, this is the new permanent time slot for Hanging Out with Grandpa Starscream. Next Monday night, we'll go back to the regular comic book shenanigans that we all love. Because I really want to talk about CBCS closing and stuff like that. We'll get back to the comic book shenanigans.
Oh, that's
stuff
good,
later.
actually, because next Monday I work till 1:30.
Whoa.
Cool. We'll get back to the usual comic book shenanigans and all that stuff. And then probably, I don't know if there'll be a cover theme or not. But of course, I got a week to figure that out.
Dude, I think
And
when
then,
you bring back, sorry, Tony, I think when you bring back the cover themes, I love it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't really want to dig through my books, but anyway.
I don't either. I already have to do enough for that for the club.
Yeah, really.
Okay.
But anyway, y'all, I'm going to take a minute. I want to thank everybody for hanging out. I want to thank the guys, Jeff, Matt, Aaron, Vogsy, for hanging out with me tonight.
Yes,
thank
sir.
everybody in the panel. Thank everybody in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay and I had to cut out the fight video, I'm sorry, but it has to be done. But especially since I think we got blacklisted for a little bit. I mean, like I said, I just wanted if you want to see it, go on YouTube, watch it. Hell, rent the movie.
Watch Matt's review of it too.
Here you go.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, go to Heroes for Hire Comic Club and watch Matt's review. Till then, next time, everybody, we will see y'all next time. We're going to end it with Spaceballs. And everybody be safe, take care, God bless. Just keep reading. And we'll see y'all.
I wonder, will we ever see each other again?
Who knows? God willing, we'll all meet again in Spaceballs 2. The search for more money.